Today I'm going to talk about what things to avoid when buying a house. I've been a real estate agent for a while now and also have bought and sold my own properties. So I learned a few things that I hope will be helpful for you. Number one, do not buy a newly constructed home. Shocking, right? What am I talking about? A lot of builders, not everyone, there are some really reputable ones. I'm talking about some builders who are really thinking about budgeting and how to maximize their profits, and they cut corners. Even though the city and the town have inspected everything, sometimes little things happen. For example, my friend in the winter, she turned the faucet on in the kitchen and no water was coming out. Turns out that it froze, the pipes froze in the wall that were facing the outside. So the builder came and insulated that walls, and then after that he said, just keep the doors, the cabinet doors open in the winter so there'll be circulation. So crazy things like that. When you're buying a house, if you buy it after a year or two, all the kinks will be worked out. Right now, new construction home supply is almost triple that of existing home supply, as those who own a home stay married to their lower rates. Interesting to know that overall inventory has gone up a lot in the last few months, but it's still less than half that of 2008, when the US had a population of around 304 million. Today, that has jumped to almost 342 million. That's 12.5% higher population in US. Next, do not buy a flip. And I know a lot of real estate agents talk about that, but the hard thing is, the cosmetics are done, and because buyers are buying emotionally, they fall in love with the house and they don't notice that there are some major things that were overlooked. For example, my clients bought this house that was beautifully cosmetically done, but AC, the heating, the electrical, the plumbing, nothing was touched. But they loved the house so much that they went for it. My motto is go into the house with your eyes open, knowing exactly what to expect, and if you're okay with everything, then go ahead and buy the house. The biggest pet peeve that I have is not understanding everything you can possibly understand about the house and buying it blind. When it comes to buying a flip, sometimes the flippers did the absolute minimum, so they maybe painted the kitchen cabinets, they even painted the tiles in the bathroom so it looks fresh, but a lot of things were not touched, and then they expect a huge return on their investment. So the flipped house might look adorable and you might fall in love with it, which brings me to my next point. Don't fall in love with your house, because when you are in love, you have those rose-colored goggles and you are kind of ignoring the things that your inspector is saying. And you say, oh, it's okay, we'll take care of it. Oh, it's okay, well, but look at this house, it's so adorable. Oh, look at this reading nook. I can imagine myself sitting here and reading books for hours, because suddenly, by magic, I'm gonna come up with a lot of extra hours that I can spend reading. Or you see those twinkling lights on the deck and you say, I can imagine those epic parties we're gonna have. It's selling your lifestyle, and you fall for it. And once you're in love, you are not a good negotiator. Don't fall for the staging. For me, the important thing is, are you going into it with open eyes? Do you understand everything? But regardless, if you're in love, that weakens you. Do not buy a house, a single-family home, in an HOA, Homeowners Association. It's like another level of government on your property. You have the town, you have the country, and now you have the HOA. So sometimes, you want to do something. Maybe you want to put a fence up and the HOA says you cannot. So you're kind of limited. By the way, I have a lot of materials you can download for free. Seller's guide, buyer's guide. Make sure to go into the description and all the links are there. Another thing that some people say, it's okay, I will deal with it. It's buying a house with one bathroom. If you have an option of adding a second bathroom, I'm all for it. But if this is it, this is the limit, try to avoid it. Let's say you have a 2-floor house, the bedrooms are on the 2nd floor. If the bathroom is on the 2nd floor and you have a guest who is not able to climb stairs, they can't use the bathroom. If the bathroom is on the 1st floor and you want to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, that's an accident ready to happen. If it's on the same level, it might be okay. When you're ready to sell your house, the buyers are gonna look and see, oh, you have only 1 bathroom. No, thank you, we're not buying the house. You have to think about the resale value when you're buying your house. It might be perfect for you, but it might not be perfect for a lot of buyers. That brings me to the next point, which is don't buy a house on a noisy street. Now, again, different people have different sensitivities to noise. You might not be very sensitive to noise and you might say, I don't care, it's a little bit of a white noise, I actually like it. But then when you're ready to sell it, your pool of buyers is smaller because not everyone is like you. Don't buy a house in a flood zone. First of all, the flood insurance is expensive, but let's say you are in a zone that floods every 100 years. What happens now is the water levels are rising because of global warming. So you might end up in 5 years in a flood zone that floods very, very often. Now, don't buy a foreclosed home. And why am I saying that? It seems like a great idea. Besides that, it takes a very long time for that house to sell. It might be months. During that time, more information might come out, and after a few months, you might be so deeply into it, you might just say, oh, forget it. Just let's sign those closing documents. With foreclosed homes, sometimes the previous owners were so frustrated and angry and upset that they damaged the house. And I heard a story of the pipes, they poured cement into the pipes. The first sight, you can't see anything. You think everything is fine, but then you buy the house and it turns out it's a huge, huge project to change all the pipes in the house. Always, always, always get a home inspection. Even if you are in a multiple offer situation and everybody else is waiving their inspection, you have to do an inspection. My clients know that if we're in a multiple offer situation, I can get the inspector to come and do a consultation. It's not going to be a full inspection. Just a consultation like for an hour, and they tell you the major items. It's very, very important. I will not let my clients not do an inspection unless they insist on it. Be realistic of what you can manage. For example, a long driveway or a huge land that you have to take care of, or a huge house that needs to be heated and all the expenses that go into it. It sounds like the American dream, but can you manage it realistically? Can you manage it? If you can't, it's better to buy either a smaller house or a condominium, having in mind that condominium fees also go higher and higher with every year, so you have to budget for that. And finally, check out the house at different times of the day, and don't go once, go a few times if you can. Like the house comes on the market on Thursday, go then, go Friday, go Saturday, go Sunday, because the first 2 times you might be wearing those rose goggles and you might not see things because you're so overwhelmed and so excited that at last you found the house that you really like. But then after a while, you start noticing things. On the 3rd and 4th time, you start noticing things that you completely didn't see the first time. If you've seen it in the morning, go and see it at night. If you've seen it at night, go and see it during the day. Because if you're close to a school, the traffic and the noise during the day, that might be interesting to see. Or if you're in downtown area and you have a pub and some activity happening in the neighborhood in the evening, you want to see that. Need some help buying or selling in Massachusetts? Please reach out to me. I would love to help you. All my contact information is in the description below.